Hello, everybody. How you all doing? Hope you're doing good. Jack, first in the chat as usual. Hey, chat. How you doing? How you doing, Jack? So, what should we chat about today? Well, it's been a hectic few days, as you can imagine. Just moved in on Monday. Absolute insane week this week. Mental. Been really busy doing stuff, getting stuff ready, and all that kind of nice stuff. Hey, Alex. How you doing? Get up on the screen. There we go. Hello, mate. How you doing? I'm doing great, Alex. Thank you. Hello. Hello. How are you doing? So, the local elections yesterday, local council elections. What does everybody think about that? Let's have a look. How come the councils didn't put? Well, how come the council didn't put carpets down? Apparently, it's standard procedure. They actually make people rip out their carpets when they leave the property, or they get charged for leaving them behind. And to be honest with you, I kind of understand it and don't understand it, because in some circumstances you can kind of understand why they do it, because people leave the carpets in such a state that if the next resident comes in and they've got to fork out to remove the carpets, it's more expenditure for them, isn't it? But for me, what the council should do is they should go around and inspect the property and make a decision on whether the carpets need to be removed or they can be left in the house. Because to me, I once had a council flat and I had brand new carpets down, everything like that. I moved out and they made me rip out brand new carpets. When you think that those carpets would have been all right for a new family or a new person moving into that flat, they wouldn't have had to fork out money to replace the carpets quickly. But I kind of understand why they're doing it, but then they should do every home on a case by case basis. They've got to come in and inspect the property anyway. So when you're inspecting the property, you would think, yeah, we'll have a look at the carpets. If the carpets are all right, we'll tell them they can leave the carpets in, and then they don't have to spend any money ripping them out. And the next person coming in doesn't have to spend any money putting carpets down for at least a couple of years. You think they'd use the common sense, but common sense and local authorities and local government don't exactly go hand in hand, do they? Unfortunately. But yeah, that's why there's no carpets down anyway. So look at this. Do you think we should go to Wood Hill and have a demonstration calling for Tommy's release now? No. As far as I know, Tommy's team have always said no protests outside the prison unless they're the ones organising it. And to be honest with you, that's fair enough. I think any demonstrations outside the prison would probably harm Tommy. They would inflict retribution on Tommy within the prison. So I don't think it's a good idea. What is it? It's only a few months now. Is it 3 months until he gets out of prison? I guess people just don't want to jeopardise anything in the future. But yeah, I think that the standard view on all of that is a no protests outside the prison whatsoever, and that's Tommy's team saying that. So I guess they know best. And you've got to think, what would it actually achieve anyway? It wouldn't achieve anything. If anything, you'd have the police turning up. They'd probably, look for excuses to arrest people, and it would all get nasty and messy. Given the situation of the country at the minute, it's like a powder keg. No, I don't think it's a good idea at the minute. Reform only got the vote because there isn't anyone better at the moment, in the moment time. Yeah, exactly. It was all a protest vote. It was. It was a protest vote. People couldn't vote for. Normally, as a protest vote, people would either vote Labour or Tory. But both those parties at the minute are so bad that nobody wants to vote for them, so they go to the Reform Party. Indeed, really, the Reform Party didn't really destroy the Labour Party. It was the Liberal Democrats that were soaking up the Labour vote. People were voting for the Liberal Democrats. People that normally vote for Labour voted for the Liberal Democrats because they couldn't bring themselves to vote for the Reform Party. So the Reform Party ate up all the Tory votes and just basically wiped out the Tories, and the Liberal Dems picked up the Labour votes in certain constituencies. So that's what happened. Evening, British Bulldog. Right, so this is probably going to be a bit controversial. I don't really have much of an opinion on this because I don't really know much about the situation. I've been basically information blackout for me because I haven't been able to get on my laptop. We've still got no internet in the house yet. I'm only using my mobile data, and I hate using my phone on the internet. It just annoys me looking at stuff on the internet. I've got Twitter on it. I look at Twitter, but apparently there's been a bit of a thing going off with Paul Thorpe and his mate Danny and some others. But there's been some doubt cast on what whether there's something actually really weird going on with them because they're them stepping back from making political videos. I was on Danny Roscoe's. Well, I wasn't on it. I was listening to it last night. I was listening to Danny Roscoe's live stream last night about all this, and then I went to somebody called Jupiter's live stream, and they were casting doubt on what Paul Thorpe and people have been saying. I was only listening. I was just giving my thoughts about it on listening to certain things that were being said. Some of it sounded fishy. I think I'll give my honest opinion on this. I think they've been scared. I think they got scared off. I think they've seen people get arrested for what they've been saying online, and I think they've got scared and they've decided to call it a day. And instead of just backing off and just saying, "Look, we're not doing it anymore because it's getting too heated. We want we don't want anything that to happen to our families or anything like that." But I don't know if it's true or not. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything about this. Apparently, Paul Thorpe's friend Danny was arrested by counter-terrorism police under the Terrorism Act, and the way that it was being that obviously Paul Thorpe and this Danny guy they did a live stream, and it just sounded very scripted, very strange. Some of the things they're saying were very strange. Some of the things they contradicted themselves on, and to be honest with it, they look scared. I think they've been scared off. I don't know what anybody thinks about that, but yeah, it was just a bit odd, very odd. Listening to what Danny Roscoe was saying, and because I'm not privy to certain things, I've only really watched Paul Thorpe on and off because he's not. No offense to the guy, but he's not really my cup of tea. He's a bit too wishy-washy for my liking. The way that he didn't say that reform was shit soon enough. He was like umming and ahhing, flip flopping, and about Reform Party, and it was just like no, not my cup of tea at all. But yeah, hey Steve, how you doing? I get the right one, Steve. I hate this on my phone. I hate it. Right, let's have a look. So let's see what Jack's saying. Danny isn't a terrorist, clearly. Keir Hitler and Labour stitched him up, and they did the same with Paul Thorpe as well. Interesting take. What do you think about the accusations that have been put towards them that there's something not quite right with what they're saying, though? That basically they just got involved in the movement to grift and took advantage of Tommy. They were kind of riding on his coattails. I'll say this right now. The only person I really respected out of the three of them was Richard Inman. I respect that guy. He served in the forces. If you've worn the uniform, you get my respect straight away. Straight away. No doubts about that. I think he was a bit naive with Paul Thorpe and the others, though. I don't think they were in it for the right reasons. If they were in it for the right reasons, they would be sticking by their principles, wouldn't they? They'd be stuck by their principles. And even if they were threatened, they wouldn't be, doing what they're doing. If you know what I mean, it kind of casts a bit of doubt on them, but I don't know. Well, apparently, this obviously, I'm just going on what people have said in the live stream last night. I don't know if this is true or not, so take this with a pinch of salt. But apparently, Paul Thorpe has said he's not coming back. So whether he's been doing these back and forths to Spain to sort out his visa and a place to live out in Spain. I mean, let's face it, right? The guys, this was on the cards, wasn't it? I just think he just needed the push to go. And well, what I don't want to say too much because I don't want to come out and make accusations against people. It sounds fishy to me about everything that was going on. It does. It something stinks about the whole situation. Something just doesn't ring true to me. When and this was brought up in the live stream. Danny Roscoe brought this up. When Tommy was arrested under the Terrorism Act, he came out and he told everybody what they asked him, the questions they asked him, and why they did it. That didn't happen with Danny and Paul Thorpe and that sort of thing. They didn't come out and say. They said, "Oh, we can't say what we were asked for legal reasons." It's like, "Oh, that's a load of bullshit. That's bullshit." Tommy just came straight out and just said, "Yeah, they weren't asking questions about terrorism. They wanted access to his phones." And a lot of people in the chat and in the live streams were saying, "What threat is Danny? What threat is he? Why pick on him? Surely, if they were going to go after anybody, it would probably be Paul Thorpe or it would be Richard Inman. The main people, mainly Richard Inman, really, because he's the one that's organising all the rallies. You'd have thought he would have been number one target to send a message to everybody else. But they pick on Danny, probably the least known out of the three and the least active, in my opinion. If you're going to go for somebody, go for Paul Thorpe as well. With his live streams, his popularity, he's got a huge following. If you wanted to send a message, you go for him. And I know he said that he's been harassed in passport control and stuff like that when he's been coming back and forth from Spain, allegedly. But yeah, it just seems a bit strange to me, the whole situation. Some of the things. Sounds like just a bunch of opportunists and can throw Nigel Farage in that mix because he's a chancer and an opportunist. Yeah. Right. So right. So we've got to say allegedly on all of this because we don't know. Don't speculate about anything. Paul's house is up for sale, so I hear, on the net. Right. Okay. Well, that's allegedly. We don't know that for certain, do we? And to be honest with you, I don't really care. It's none of my business what these people do with their private lives. If they feel like they've been threatened, or they feel like they want to move abroad to be with their family, that's fine. And you know, if that's all what this is all about is because simply they don't want to do the political stuff anymore and they just want to move abroad and be with their families, that's fair enough. But why not just come out and just say that? Just say that. Don't make up bullshit stories so that people don't think any less of you. It's like, just, if you don't want to be a part of the movement anymore, don't be a part of it. No, nobody's gonna like think any less of you, or anything like that. I think most people would probably understand, but I don't know. Something just doesn't ring true about what they've been saying, though, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, and so look at that one again. I was on Paul's live stream a few weeks back when he was talking about Reform UK and later proposed to him that we have insurrection and number 10 Downing Street. Do you think that's why Paul is gone? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he was talking about sending. I mean, let's face it, it would be the bigger target for counter-terrorism or the Starmer regime to have a look at. Paul Thorpe was on about getting a group of people together to go across to America to talk to JD Vance about free speech issues in this country and the situation with Tommy being in prison. So you would have thought that he would have been a bigger target than anybody else for counter-terrorism, just to shake him up, to intimidate him a little bit. But they didn't pick him. Instead they picked on Danny. Why? He's the least active of the three in the movement, isn't he? It's just odd, in my opinion. Very odd. Paul said he wasn't going to leave the UK. Exactly. He said he was going to be He said he was stay here and fight. But I think he's missing his daughter. That's what I think is happening, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we're all human beings at the end of the day, and I think he's missing his daughter, he's missing his granddaughters and stuff like that, and he just wants an excuse to go and move to Spain. Why he just didn't say that in the first place, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, exactly. There would be more. There would be a lot more respect for them if they were just honest about things. Exactly. And Danny Roscoe brought this up as well in the live stream. Obviously there's been a lot of controversy over collections for the family, Peter Lynch's family. Obviously, they refused to accept this money for whatever reason that was, and there's been a lot of controversy about where that money went and stuff like that. And apparently, Paul Thorpe in his live stream said that he took money from people, and instead of putting the money in the buckets himself, he gave the money to his security to do it. And like Danny Roscoe says, it's like you just don't say things like that. Don't say, because that's just casting doubt on the honesty of those buckets. All you've got to say is that I didn't see anything and stuff like that. Put the money in the bucket yourself. But I get where Danny Roscoe's coming with that one. And some from them, I'm not interested in personal journeys and their lives in Spain. I'm concerned about the UK. I respect their decision, but I'm not interested in personal journeys. Exactly. I mean, what's he going to do? He's apparently this I didn't even know about this. Apparently, he's supposed to be on a place in the sun Isn't that a TV show? And apparently he's got screwed over or something regarding the property out in Spain. I don't know what that situation is or how true that is, but yeah. And like I said, I don't really care. I'm not bothered. I just listened to the live stream. I watched Danny Roscoe's live stream last night, and yeah, a lot of things about Paul Thorpe resonated with me. The way I felt about the guy as well. As you probably know, we didn't have a spat. I made a few videos about him, and he vaguely, passively aggressively mentioned me in one of his videos. And because I was getting frustrated with how wishy-washy he was on the Reform Party, and it was like flip-flopping about, and anything. I hate people that are indecisive. That it's like, just the evidence is there, process the evidence, and then come to a conclusion. And it was like, first he was like coming down Reform, then he was supporting them, and then he wasn't supporting them, and then he said he couldn't get behind UKIP. He talked to Nick Tenconi and that sort of things. Had a good chat with him, and then just couldn't make a decision. The guy might be a perfectly decent, honest guy, and be totally above board, be a nice guy, but he's the sort of person that I just don't like being around. I don't know what it is, just don't like being around people like that. What do you think about Ben Habib and his party? I'll be honest with you about Ben Habib's party. I'm not. There's a few things that he said that I'm not particularly on board with. He's kind of doing the same thing the Reform Party is regarding Tommy Robinson. I get it. I get it why he's doing it, but it's kind of the same reason why the Reform Party did it. They don't particularly want to embrace him, and I'll say this right now. He was asked if Tommy Robinson would be allowed to join the party, and to his credit, Ben Habib said yes, he would. He's a registered voter. He would be able to join the party, no issues like that. But no out and out support for Tommy, not like UKIP has been doing. They've been coming out and totally supporting Tommy and saying, yeah, he can join the party. He can, we back him. He's a political prisoner, all this kind of thing. And Ben Habib said that. Ben Habib said that Tommy Robinson is a political prisoner as well. But it's the lukewarm reception sort of thing. It's like they're trying to keep him at arm's length, which is understandable, but I don't know yet. The jury's out on Ben Habib's party. We'll see what happens. It's 4 years. It's 4 years to go. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm keeping my powder dry. I'm putting my weight behind UKIP at the minute. But 4 years is a long time politically. A week is a long time politically. Anything can happen. So we'll see what happens. But for the minute, I mean, he's not even launched the party yet. So once he gets some policies out, we'll have a look at his policies and what the party's about and stuff like that, and we'll see what he's offering. But I'm kind of fluid. I haven't completely set in stone who I'm going to vote for in the next general election. Like I said in the video today, when I did my morning walk, I've been betrayed in the past by political parties, and words from politicians mean absolutely nothing to me. It's actions. And I look at Nick Tenconi, I see what he's doing. He's out on the ground with ordinary people, standing shoulder to shoulder with them. And that means a hell of a lot more to me than saying things, because that is actually doing something. That's actually standing toe to toe with your constituents and being at their side when they're fighting for their free speech. And I respect that a hell of a lot more than just saying things on camera. I really do. That's getting down the street, getting with the people. Because that's what a lot of politicians don't do. They don't understand us because they don't stand toe to toe with us. They don't stand side by side with us against the battles we're facing. A lot of them live in beautiful homes out in the countryside, and will never ever face any of the issues that we face in towns and cities, will they? They don't understand this. That's been the huge problem with our political class. It's this massive divide between the electorate and the people that are supposed to govern us. They don't understand us, and that's what I was hoping for with the Reform Party when they were picking candidates that were basically from the working class. I know there's a bus driver that's become a Reform councillor, and hats off to the guy. You know, I really hope he can make change and stuff like that. It's the leadership of the Reform Party that I can't get behind. I can't get behind them. I don't trust Nigel Farage. I don't trust Richard Tice. I don't trust Zai Youssef. I don't trust any of them because, like I said in the video this morning, they are from that broken establishment system. They're from that. They come from that. We need people that have never been involved in that can come straight in, brand new, with fresh ideas and go to that broken system. And in my opinion, it just needs to be torn down, absolutely torn down and rebuilt from up. There has to be huge purges of the far left, the Marxists, in all of our governmental institutions. Our judiciary is a fucking joke. Sorry, I'm swearing, but it is. Our judiciary is a joke. Our police force is a joke. Our armed forces are a joke. And it's all because of this identity politics bullshit that has been poured into it. And it's been done on purpose. This is deliberate. This has been done by people who want to destabilize society. They want to do it. That's the whole purpose of it. They're not incompetent. They're not idiots. This is to destabilize society. I mean, a lot of people are saying that Keir Starmer is incompetent. He's not. He's just managing the decline of the country. This is deliberate. It started with Tony Blair, and it was consecutive governments after that that were all involved with the World Economic Forum. This has all been planned. The controlled demise of traditionally ancient democracies and destroying them so we can see this rise of this technocratic socialism, this communism that they're trying to implement on everybody. That's what they're trying to do. And we need people that aren't from that system, that haven't been tainted by it. That's why as soon as they started recruiting from the Tories, that was the decline of the Reform Party. It was. They started recruiting from the Tories. We started seeing people coming from the Liberal Democrats, people coming from Labour. It's like, no, it's tainted. The party's tainted. It should have kept its integrity. It should have kept itself pure with people from backgrounds such as mine, and kept out the old guard. But that's the trouble with the Reform leadership. They are the old guard. Nigel Farage is, he's an old school conservative, isn't he? Not particularly right wing, liberal minded. He's basically a Tory wet, isn't he? He's a Tory wet, as is Richard Tice. They're not right wing at all. They're not. It makes me laugh when people say the Reform Party's right wing. They're not. They've even said themselves they're not right wing. They've said they're centrist. Anyway, let's have a look at a few more comments. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm getting ranty again. Getting ranty. But yeah. Well, I found a Paul Thorpe, but I think he has been given the hush threat. Yeah, I think that too. I think there's more been said to him that he's letting on, and it scared him. And there's nothing wrong with being scared. Nothing wrong with being scared at all. If you've got a family to look after, if you've got things to lose, I've said this in videos before. If you've got things to lose, then maybe you shouldn't be in the movement, because they are going to come for you. If you are high profile within this movement, they're going to come for you. And I remember a long time ago, Tommy Robinson, he said that if you come into my camp, you come and support me, and you're high profile, he warned people, said they will come for you. They will. And he was right. And I think Paul Thorpe and the others, not so much Richard Inman, I think he knew what he was getting into, but I think Paul Thorpe and this Danny guy, I think they got in over their head and they didn't really understand what they were getting involved in. Paul Thorpe's only been political for a year, hasn't he? I think a lot of us have been political for a long time, and we know what the state will do to silence people. They will intimidate you. They will come after you to shut you down and shut you up because they want to keep the status quo. They do. I mean, why wouldn't they not want to keep the status quo? They're on the gravy train. They don't want anybody to threaten their power. Of course they don't. But yeah, I think he was gotten to. I think somebody's gotten to him. They sent him a warning, that kind of thing. Maybe it's all true. I mean, let's just go on the assumption that it's all true. Danny was stopped by counter-terrorism police to scare the shit out of him. Maybe Paul Thorpe was stopped by the counter-terrorism police, but he's that terrified that he doesn't want to say anything about it. And he said, I'm taking a step back from the political video, the political stuff. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I can only speculate. So these new comments. I know a lot of people keep saying Paul lives in Brighton. I know he lives in Brighton. Lefty Central. It's a bit of a strange place to live, isn't it? A lot of conversations, just like having a look at some of the comments. Do this. Is everyone smashing that like button? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for promoting that. I always forget to promote that sort of stuff. Right, so let's talk about Monday. There's something big's going off on Monday. I advertised it last week, but I haven't advertised it since because obviously there's moved into a house and all that kind of thing. So Monday, I'm going to the May Day parade. It's called the May Day parade. It's really the communist parade. It's when all the woke idiots come out. So I'm going to go to that. There's going to be stand up to racism there and all the usual people. There's going to be the communists and that kind of thing. So I'm going to do a live stream from that event on Monday. It's probably going to be interesting because every time I've gone to these things, they've tried to intimidate me. The last time I went was 2 years ago, and a guy just swore at me, came over, and he was Antifa, and he tried to get in my face, which was hilarious. So yeah, gonna go there on Monday. So be ready for that one. Live streaming. I think it's gonna be from about 10:30. So I know it's bank holiday Monday, and probably people are going to be hungover and stuff like that. But if you want something interesting to watch on Monday, watch me go alone and take on an entire protest of lefties. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It really is. We're going to walk around, and I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try and interview anybody because they never want to be interviewed. And as soon as they find out who I am, it's always the same crap. It's, oh, you're a fascist. You're a racist. It's always that crap. So I've tried to debate them in the past before, and it just doesn't go anywhere. I'll always speak if they speak to me. I'll always speak to them, but I never go over to them and deliberately try to have a conversation with them. I always let them come to me. So if anything starts, I can say, "Well, you came to me. I'm not harassing you. You came to me. I was just walking around, minding my own business, doing my own commentary on what's going on, and you came to me. That's what I do." So if there is any kind of accusations of stuff, I've got it on camera, and they can't deny that. So yeah, going to be live streaming 10:30 on Monday from Chesterfield May Day Gala. That's what it's called. Just have a drink of water. I'm getting dry throat again. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm not one of these sort of people that just talks behind the camera and doesn't go out and put boots on the ground and do things. I'm not like that. I'm not a keyboard warrior. I go out and face these people. I'm not scared of them, and we'll see what happens. Should be fun. Thanks, Mark. We'll be watching you live on Monday. We'll, yeah, thank you. Thanks for that, Windy Ridge. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Apparently, it's bigger this year as well. Apparently, they're doing stalls and stuff, and there's going to be live music. So I don't know what I'm going to find. It's probably going to be an absolute clown circus. It's probably going to be like the cantina from Star Wars when you're walking around. It's going to be like there's going to be some sights. There was last time. Oh, they've also got a pro-Palestine speaker, so there's going to be the pro-Palestine mob there as well. So that's also going to be interesting. We'll see if we can see any Hamas cosplayers while we're there too. And if Stand Up to Racism get on their high horse, I'm going to ask them, if they come over to me and will say, do you agree with your organisation counter-protesting a protest that was protesting for harsher sentences for paedophiles? Do you support that? Do you support those people counter-protesting a protest for higher sentences for paedophiles? That should knock them off the high horses straight away. I'm ready for them. Don't worry. And if they start coming and preaching to me, I'm going to give them both barrels with that one. Don't you worry. The things they were shouting at that counter protest to those people was absolutely disgusting, especially the survivors. You should watch Charlie Beach's video on it. It was disgusting. God, yeah. And Nick Tenconi was there. He was speaking and that kind of thing. But yeah, the things they were shouting were disgusting. These people that they claim to have the moral high ground, it's like you've got no moral high ground. They're the worst of the worst. They're just evil, disgusting people. They really are. What time will you be live? Harry, I'll be live at 10:30. So from 10:30. If it's any earlier, I'll let you all know. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun day out. It always is. Well, at least they can't intimidate like they can do with CP Reports. Who's CP Reports? Who's CP Reports? Never heard of that guy. Is it a guy? I'm down to watch that. Yeah, it's funny. Go and watch. There's a video on my channel. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's intimidated by a communist thug. I think that's it. Communist thug tries to intimidate me. Go and watch that video. That's from 2 years ago, and I'm still living rent free in that guy's head. That guy got me fired from my last job. 100% sure of that, because he came into the place where I was working and he spotted me, and he just went berserk. He just went berserk, and yeah, funnily enough, a couple of days after, I was told my services were no longer required. Just a little bit of a coincidence, I think, with that one. I've had that a lot. I know that Stand Up to Racism have been passing around my photo. They took the very first protest I went to counter protest them. They took photos of me, and yeah, they passed it around. I think that's how that guy got to know about me. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I normally get spotted straight away, so we'll see what happens. Last time they had masked up all the communists back at the back of the parade. There's actually a parade. There's a march. They were all at the back with their communist flags with red berets on and masked up with shades on. You know, it's supposed to be illegal in this country for you to wear a paramilitary uniform, and they were wearing a paramilitary uniform, but the police did nothing to them, absolutely nothing to them whatsoever. And yeah, they didn't like me being there. Let's just say that. I'm having trouble with the comments. A lot of the comments I can't see. Civil war is inevitable in the UK. Yes, it is, Jack. C Reports works with Tausi. Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you mean now. Yeah, is she that? Is she that Christian lady? The Christian lady. C Reports is the little girl. Yeah, that's it. Who got famous for being arrested in London during the Tausi report. She's a real threat. About 4'10", under £9. She's a bit feisty though, isn't she? She can definitely hold her own against people. Look at this. What happened to the? Hi Enoch, how you doing? What happened to the lady and the guy who were arrested last Saturday in Manchester? I don't know. To be honest, Enoch, I've been completely out of the loop for a fair bit. I used to have my ear to the ground all the time politically, but with everything that's been going off in my personal life at the minute, I've just been. I've not really been looking at a lot of stuff politically. Obviously, I've been keeping an eye on the reform stuff, and I've just not been watching any other stuff at the minute. So yeah, I don't know what happened to those people. I didn't even know people had been arrested. Was that protest? Wow, we've been going 42 minutes already. It's flying. Um, I will promote this. There is a link on my videos, most of my videos now. It's to buymeacoffee.com. So if you want to support the channel, you can support the channel through that. I don't really mention it that much because I like to leave it to people's discretion about whether they want to support the channel or not. It's completely up to them. I don't want to force it down people's throat. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, go and find the link on one of my videos, and you know, I'd be grateful if you supported the channel and that kind of thing. So yeah, let's have a look at some more comments. We need a party that will outright ban socialism in the UK. We have let Marxists have too much free rein yet. I think it's true. I think, to be honest with you, I think communism and if any links to communism should be banned. I mean, Nazi parties frowned upon. I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan of banning things. I think they should just be confined to the fringe. But the trouble is, in situations like we have now, you have the extremes of both ends of the political spectrum that will rise because they'll take advantage of people's anger and frustration. And it's hard. It's hard in a free society to not ban things. I mean, look at the. I'm not saying the ADF is far right or anything like that, but look at the ADF in Germany, where a government can just come along and ban a political party. It's not really a route we want to go down, because if we make laws where socialism can be banned, then we're also making laws for other parties to be banned in the future as well. And I think it's a dangerous step to take. Yeah, there's always dangers. I think the only way you can stop that sort of thing is educate people, educate them, and that's what should be taught in schools. They should be taught the evils of Nazism and communism equally. It's just not done like that, though, is it? That communism led to 90 million deaths around the world, and why it should be taught that why socialism fails every single time, but it isn't, because we've got socialist and communist teachers. They teach capitalism is bad, But yeah, socialism isn't particularly great either, is it? But yeah, as for banning political ideologies, I think that's always a dangerous step. I mean, I don't. I mean, a lot of people say ban the Quran and things like that. It's like, no, we just have to educate people more. And to do that, you have to have a free press, don't you? We just don't have that. Exactly. Far left is no concern for the media because they are the far left, aren't they? I did used to watch GB News quite a lot when it first came out. I used to watch it for that Neil Oliver, that Coast guy. I used to watch it for him. And I used to watch it for who was the other guy that used to be on? He had a heart attack. Can't remember his name. Mark Stein. Was it Mark Stein? He was great as well. Love those presenters. Everybody. I'll give you. Look, still no flooring. Still no flooring. Um, yeah, the camera keeps stopping when I keep doing this, so turn the camera off again. That's it. I don't like the phone. Let's have a look. GB News would never have been allowed their platform if they did not toe the line. Exactly. And hopefully, if we do get a right wing party in the next general election, whenever that is going to be, they'll absolutely and totally disband Ofcom, get rid of Ofcom altogether, because it's not impartial, is it? Ofcom is just basically it's what it is. It's what people nicknamed it. It's off communism. It's run by lefties. They allow the lefty media to get away with absolute murder with what they say, but any right wing media, they're immediately clamped down upon. Totally. I mean, they brought in a stupid rule where they had to have balanced presenters on, where if you had right wing presenters on, then you had to have left wing presenters on to give a balanced view. But they don't demand that of the mainstream media. I mean, you look at Newsnight and Question Time, stuff like that. Question Time more. Question Time, you look at the panels on their shows, and it's basically what 10, 10 lefties against one right wing person, and they all gang up on them. It's not fair and balanced at all. But that isn't enforced. It's not enforced on Newsnight. It's only enforced on GB News and other and Talk Radio and Talk TV and those sort of programs. So Ofcom is biased, isn't it? Needs to be disbanded, just like the BBC, just like the TV license needs to be got rid of. And then it just needs to go. So look. That brings there are 32 major NGOs in government, including all of Ofcom, etc. All need to go. Exactly. They need to be disbanded, gone, gone for good, and replaced with something that is balanced and fair, in my opinion. Does TV need to be regulated? Yes, it does. But it's like government. They've just been given too much power. They've got too much overreach. And that's the issue with them. They've now been given access to what is it? Monitor the internet, and it's not just right wing. It's not just right wing commentators. They can you know, like My 2C and all those kind of news channels, 2C TV, it's everybody. So if they decide that somebody on YouTube is saying things that aren't fair and balanced, they can ask YouTube to get rid of them. All right, we're coming up to the hour mark. Not really talked about much today. It's been a mixed bag of things. Trying to think of some things that I want to talk about. What do I want to talk about? Talked about. To be honest with you, I've talked about the local elections enough. Reform Party. I like my morning walk rants. They're pretty good. They do clear the air for the day. I like the morning walks. Really good, especially now where I live. I'm going to turn up the screen a little bit because I can't really see this very much. That's it. Turn up the brightness on the screen. I'm not on my laptop at the minute. I'm on my phone, and I'm going to have to practice that tomorrow. I might have to do a test live stream tomorrow directly from YouTube because I won't be able to use StreamYard when I'm doing my live stream on Monday. So I might have to give that a test tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, put that back up. Oh, there we go. Right. Right, guys, I think I've said all I'm going to say tonight. I'm feeling a bit tired, to be honest with you. We're close to the hour mark anyway. We're on the hour. Yeah, we're on the hour now. So I'm going to call it a night, guys. 50, was it 51? 51, yeah. I'm going to call it a night, guys. Watch out for my videos tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. And if you like my content, subscribe to my channel and, you know, get a non-sugar coated, straight talking, no bullshit view on things. Anyway, great talking to all you guys. I want to say thank you to everybody for subscribing and liking my videos too. Thanks for doing that, guys. You're the best subscribers ever. Thanks for doing that. I'm going to call it a night. So see you all soon. This is Vindicator signing off.